Well, hello, beautiful people, and welcome back.
You trying something new this week?
I try to mix it up every week, and I just figured I'd throw that out there.
I like it. Let's do it.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello.
Welcome back to the New World Also podcast, in what might be one of our final episodes in this garbage studio space that we kind of improvised and set up for ourselves here at the back of our shop.
You don't like the OSB wall? What is it?
It's not great. Could be better.
It smells a little musty in here.
We talked to you guys for a long time about eventually like revamping this space, but we have all sorts of things that are happening with our shop build. If you've been following along over on Good Simple Living, you know that we are actually expanding this space into yet another additional living space, which I'm assuming is probably going to be somewhat controversial for whatever reason.
Probably.
But work got cracking on that this week. And so there are going to be some major changes happening in here, which means that we're going to have to come up with a solution. What that solution is going to be, we're not entirely sure as of yet. We're thinking about starting this from the house.
Yeah, I think during construction, we're going to need to move the studio to the house, which is going to be an adventure because, as you guys know, baby Micah. And then from there, it will be in the loft space of the new build, which I'm excited for because I think the loft build's going to be great. We're going to have a professional studio up there. The house. Yeah, I think so because we have a chance to do it right.
To do it right. More professional, let's say.
Do it right.
I don't know about professional.
In the house now, I want to switch to a more living room style, like two big chairs and like a little table between us, living room style, that sort of podcast vibe, because I want to try it. And because we've been doing this for a while now, a few years. And if we hate living room style, then we know in the new studio that we'll bring back in the old desk table and we'll do it this way. So I feel like this is man podcast style. Living room style is a little more feminine podcast style. So maybe we could give it a try.
I like this. It's comfortable. I'm used to it. I don't like new things, but major changes happening around here. You guys will see very soon. I'm staring outside at a mountain of dirt that is new, and things in here are going to have to start getting torn out. But I want to try to preserve this space for as long as we possibly can, just because it's already set up the way that we are accustomed to. But just so you're aware, future changes
are
coming.
So let us know down below. Do you think that we should bring this desk into the house and stick with this style? Or do you think that we should maybe just try the living room style out?
Team Melissa or Team Jeremy once again?
Let's see. I don't know what that means for Daryl.
He's coming, regardless of where we are.
I kind of feel like he probably isn't coming into the house.
Mm-mm. What about your yam yam?
Okay, so yam yam. This
yam.
is Micah's yam yam. He has spaghetti sauce on him because Micah has decided that yam yam is the best thing ever. So quick little housekeeping here. Tiny Human, you guys saw, we have the cover now. There's nothing inside of it yet. However, doesn't this look so interesting? However, this is what the cover is going to look like. And the book has officially gone to print this week. We've approved all of the illustrations, turned out amazing. Also, Yam Yam's here. That's what Micah named him.
So big thanks to all of you out there who have already ordered. Where can they order the book? Throw that out there real quick.
tinyhumanbook.com is where pre-orders are happening. So this is what the set looks like. You're going to get a hardcover book. The book is a really nice size, and Yam Yam is huge. Like, we were talking about doing a smaller plush, and I was like, no, make him big, make him fat, make his butt full of beans. So this is what the set looks like, whether you're donating to a mother and a baby who chose life, or you're buying a set for yourself. We expect the sets to sell out. Yam Yam's going to sell out. So he has beans in his butt. Hear that? He has beans in his feet. His feet are kicky. He's so cute. He is literally velvety soft. Micah just loved him immediately. He started just rapidly kissing him, and he slept with him last night. He put spaghetti on him today. So this is what he looks like. I'm so excited to share him with you.
Keep holding that thing. He is adorable.
He is adorable.
But I gotta say, I know you're still working on it, but that's pretty much what it's gonna look like. He looks a little sedated.
He's sleepy. He's cuddly. So anyway, this is what he's going to look like. We're really excited about him. One big change, we were giving 50% of the book royalties to pro-life clinics and buying diapers and wipes for mothers who choose life. However, we've decided to make a big change and now donate 100% of the royalties because I just felt like it was like this weird little stumbling block that was holding the book back. So now 100% of all royalties are going to be buying Every Life diapers and wipes for mothers who find that they are facing an unplanned pregnancy, just to help make motherhood possible and help those women feel supported. So go over to tinyhumanbook.com.
So cool, Mama. I love it. We have quite the episode for all of you folks out there today, including some uncomfortable video footage. At least it was slightly uncomfortable for me, but we're going to begin with our first story of Brandon Marshall, former NFL football player, wide receiver. He's now retired. Really good player back in the day, played for the Broncos, the Jets, the Bears, I believe, is the entirety of his career. We posted a video of himself enacting some fatherly discipline that has become quite controversial. We're going to review that really quick, short video, and then you can give me your take, Mama, because I know that we disagree on this one.
Yeah, I think we do a little bit. So we'll see what you guys think.
It's no different than when we were in LA, Santa Monica, running at midnight on the pier. We wanted to do that. We love to do that. And then there's correction. Then there's discipline. You're walking, run. Discipline, correction is good. Even 2 a.m, we run. I don't got to put my hands on you. But I'm training you up to be a warrior. I'm training you to be a leader, to serve, to have discipline, to be better than me. Run. Let's go. If you don't start running, we're going to go 3 miles. So you better start running because you don't know when I'm going to tell you to stop. You don't want to listen? We run. We work. 2 a.m. Let's go. Faster. I'm driving 3 miles per hour. You should be going at 8 or 9 miles per hour right now. Go. If this truck don't get to 9 miles per hour, I promise you we're going all the way to the gas station, which is 3 miles. Down and back is 3 miles. I'm at 4 miles. I'm at 5. I'm at 6. There we go. Now we moving. Run. Discipline. That's how you going to learn it. Come on.
So how old do you think this kid is?
12.
12? I was going to say 10 or 11.
Oh, well, he's a big boy.
What are your thoughts on that video there, since he is now catching some flack, apparently?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't really have a problem with a dad saying, I'm not going to put my hands on you, but we're going to do this physical discipline because you're not listening. Obviously, the kid was being snotty. He's running around a very nice neighborhood. So I'm
Really
sure
nice.
he's quite privileged child. Also, I was thinking your gas station's 1.5 miles from you. Ours is 30 miles away. Our kids are really lucky you don't make them run to the gas station when they don't listen.
Seriously.
But originally, I felt a little bit icky about it for 2 reasons. One, it's 2:00 in the morning. I feel like that's an odd time for, like you said, the kid might be 10 years old or 11 years old. That's Eli's age.
Yeah.
If you're going to do some kind of a physical discipline, I think it should be during normal time. It's
excessive in your mind.
It's excessive in my mind because it's literally the middle of the night. So for a child, I would say, you know what, go to bed because we're getting up bright and early tomorrow. You're going to eat a good breakfast and you're going on a run and you're going to learn to listen.
So I don't know what led up to this, but I'm assuming obviously something occurred.
Clearly.
To where this kid's getting in trouble at 2:00 in the morning. I don't necessarily have a problem or issue with it. And this is the difference, I think, between fathers and mothers, especially when it comes to sons versus daughters. The messaging I thought was on point. I love it. Like, hey, discipline. He kept harping on that. I'm training you up to be a warrior. I'm with it. I love it, especially when it comes to young men. The fact that it's 2 a.m, okay, yeah, I'm with you on that. I think maybe that is slightly excessive. The one and only issue that I had with this is that it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way that you're posting this online, I suppose.
That was what my number 2 was. Yeah.
I think he's very aware of the fact that, hey, I'm recording this, and so I'm going to take this opportunity to kind of flex and to show what a good father I'm being in the moment by saying all the right things, knowing full well, obviously I'm recording it with my own phone here. And then, so, it's a little boastful, I guess, on his part. And then I don't like the concept of embarrassing a child.
That's what I was going to say. Like, yeah, it's boastful, but, that's part of social media. People will boast about all kinds of things. Look at me. Look how great I am at this. That's pretty normal. We see that all the time. But in doing that and in filming it, you are showing a disciplinary action on your part towards your child, and you're humiliating your kid. By posting that online and showing him struggling to run at 2:00 in the morning, you're humiliating your son.
That's my one and only issue. So the messaging was on point. I thought, if you want to say that it was a bit excessive, that it was 2 a.m., yeah, I get it. But again, we don't know what transpired leading up to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was being mouthy at 1:30 in the morning. Maybe the dad found him playing video games at 1:30 in the morning. And so he's like, let's run. So
I just don't like the fact that he did it to boost his status as a father while simultaneously putting down his child. That part is the part that I have an issue with. So if all this, occurred and you're not recording it and posting it online,
yes,
hey, it's great.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah.
Especially like I said, with raising up a young man as a father, it's part of your responsibility to in my view, raise them to have a lot of self-discipline and train them up to be more so of a warrior rather than some passive man that will just allow life to run them over and have its way with them.
Agreed. And I feel like, unfortunately, in this situation, because he posted it online, that it's actually his father running him over and humiliating him. And that's something that lives forever on the internet. And he might look back at that and say, then there's two different ways. He might look back at that and say, when he's in the NFL and he's living a good life, thank God I had a father that stood up and taught me right from wrong. And I don't have a problem with that video being out there because it was an example of good fatherhood. And maybe that's the way he takes it. Or maybe he says, I hate my dad. He humiliated me online. Yeah. So that can go either way.
I think you have to take his background into consideration as well. He's a football player. I'm sure that, this is just what he automatically just defaults and reverts back to when it comes
coaching.
to coaching him up, physical discipline without having to lay your hands on the child.
Which I like.
Yeah, I like that aspect of it. And you're instilling within them the fact that, hey, adversity is going to come your way eventually. And no matter how tough a situation is, you have the ability to persevere. So power through. Let's go.
But also by putting it online, you also could stoke fires of people who do abuse in this way, because there are cases of grandmothers. There was a case where a grandmother made her, I think it was like 6-year-old grandson run in the heat down south in the middle of summer, and he died. Out of discipline, she made him run circles around the house.
It's crazy.
And there's been other situations of that as well. And we even saw it with like the Ruby Frankie case, where when she felt that her son or daughter were being infiltrated by evil, she would make them go out in the Arizona heat and do exercises, squats and stuff on the hot patio and not give them water.
Yeah, that's messed up. I'm not condoning
So they
that.
could look at something like that from somebody who's highly respected.
Oh, this is a good example, right? Yeah.
And say, this is a good example. This is okay because he's getting praised for it. Therefore, make kids run. And it's just, there's responsibility when you're posting online to be a good model. And I don't know that hit the mark.
So I told you initially upon showing you this video that there's a total double standard when it comes to fathers and sons, as opposed to fathers and daughters, and then mothers with raising kids and how it is that you go about doing things. Your default position is to like maybe have a chat with a child and counsel them on why it is that their behavior was detrimental to themselves, or and I thought that was interesting, because I will admit to the fact that, like with Eli, when it comes to certain things, like I've full on in the past been like, I don't like that. That's 10 push-ups. Do 10 push-ups.
Well,
right
not just Eli, you did it with Kaimani.
Kaimani as well.
Kaimani had to do more push-ups than anyone, I think, but he sort of liked it.
Obviously, I don't have an issue with that, but I would never resort to that with Kira.
Right.
Or with Nevaeh. Never would have happened.
Nevaeh would have just sat down.
and so I think it's interesting that what's your take on that? What do you think of that when I've done that in the past?
I do think that the double standard is okay in this situation, because men are men and women are women, and whether or not society likes it or whether or not society says, there is a different expectation, at least in our family. And we have very traditional roles. We raise our children to have a view of more traditional roles. I know that can be wildly unpopular in some circles, but we parent our boys different than we parent our girls. They are held to the same standards, but maybe the repercussions aren't the same. Well, I mean,
not always, to be fair.
Yeah. So the other thing that I think it's really important that you have that father-mother balance, because I'm too soft in many situations. And then you come in and step in and are like, wait a minute, no. And then in other situations, I feel like you can sometimes be a little harsh, or you can go on a little long with the lectures, or and then I'm kind of in there to de-escalate the situation. So, and I think that's so true of most families and why balance is important. Sometimes mom's there to de-escalate. Sometimes dad is there to make sure that mom is following through.
We're there to model as well, right? So when it comes to the girls, you are to serve as their model for how it is that a woman or a mother should behave and carry yourself.
Polite and gentle.
the same thing
That's not-
would apply for me. And with that, there are different sets of expectations when it comes to men and women in our society and the responsibilities that we have to bear, especially when you do become a husband or a father. And so because of that, yeah, I will admit to the fact that there is a total double standard and the level of expectation isn't always the same.
Yeah, well, that's a very unpopular opinion in today's standards. So
We're going to dive a little deeper into that.
Yes.
Melissa brought some notes in here with her.
I do.
because she's-
And they got rained on, so they're sad notes
It's
now.
going to be one of those episodes. To help set that up, can we review video number 2? And this is the one that made me slightly uncomfortable. Called me old fashioned, but I didn't love this.
This really bothered Jeremy. I'm really glad I didn't do this. I thought about it.
What?
No, I didn't. I never.
That would not have gone over well. Okay, like I said, call me old fashioned. It just,
I'm
and you know what?
literally
Hey,
recoiling. I'm like, ugh.
I'm happy for them. Congratulations, first of all. I don't, it's different stroke for different folk, man. But if it were me, like, I don't know, something about that, just, I don't know what it is. Call me whatever name
Is that guy
you
not
want.
humiliated?
It's just,
Well, I mean, he's a.
first of all, you
Soccer.
said, of course, this happened in a soccer game. With the World Cup
I'm
going on
just
right now.
surprised to see her
So while
posing to a
I
male.
am happy for them, there's just something that I don't know. It's just outside of the norm, and make of that what you will. Pass judgment upon me all you want. It just makes me a little uncomfortable. Is all I'm saying. Here.
It's becoming a trend for women to propose
Is it
to men.
really?
Also, for men to take the last name of the woman. And I've seen a bunch of stuff where they're flipping a coin, where, yes, they're flipping a coin to see whose last name they're taking. There was a movement of women not taking their husband's last name.
At least hyphenate it.
But now it's men taking the name of their wife.
Let's speculate. What do you think the backstory is here with this couple?
Oh, geez. They enjoy soccer.
But do you think maybe she got tired of waiting and so she just took the initiative? Is that a possibility?
I
Or do you
think that
think-
they have that kind of a relationship where she probably makes more money than he does. This
Oh.
is just my perspective on things because
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, but
since I outwardly reacted, not that there's anything wrong with
I'm
that.
just saying, like, it sets the standard. Like, she may be more of the breadwinner in the relationship, or maybe he's more of a passive soy boy. I don't know.
What is that marriage going to look like, though?
It's going to look like she wears the
Wait,
pants.
it made you uncomfortable too, right?
It made me physically go, ooh.
You said she even put the ring on it. Again, happy for this couple.
I feel
If
like
that
she
works
brings
for
him
you,
flowers on a random Tuesday,
you
you
know,
know?
if this works for you, so be it. It's just not for me personally. I have daughters. If I saw this clip of Nevaeh proposing
I'd be
to
like,
some guy,
what
I'd
are
be
you
like,
doing? We failed.
Nevaeh, what?
Well, also, I wouldn't want my daughters marrying a man that would be like, yes.
He said yes. In all seriousness, though, congratulations to that couple. Good luck to you.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, on that note, you want to piggyback?
He's
off of
for
that?
sure taking her last name. So yeah, I've just seen this trend going around. And you know what other trend I saw going around that this is totally off topic, that Kaimani showed me and he was like, is this a thing? There was a wedding. First of all, women are now changing out of their bridal gown into reception dresses. And I know that that's been a thing for a while. And they were wearing reception dresses that were a little more comfortable if they had like a huge train or detachable train.
It's party time. You
But
need a party
now
dress.
they're dressing like straight hose. I mean, they are using their wedding reception as an excuse. It was like,
Is that what you got a problem with?
there's this beautiful woman that is going viral right now on Instagram and TikTok and everything
Oh,
because
yeah.
her wedding dress is sheer and she's not wearing anything under it.
You can see the boobies.
You can see the boobies. Like Micah would be like,
Boobies.
you can see,
Okay, that was a bit much, but that's an extreme example.
no, you can see
you can see her
no
boobs.
cakes, no nothing under that.
She's
Just
literally on the dance floor in front of everybody, her family, everybody, and
her
her
grandma's there.
and the tatas are showing. Which, okay, in that case, again, that's an extreme example, but I get it.
But
otherwise, like
they're
changing into a
wearing,
party
like,
dress, you have a problem with
they're
that?
wearing like really, but it's the skimpiness of the party dress. And then the other trend is something that's been around a long time that makes our children uncomfortable, which I find funny, but it's the garter thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't think much of it. It was really trendy in the 80s and the 90s. I don't think it was trendy before that. I don't think my grandma was sticking her leg up on a chair and having my grandpa use his teeth to remove a garter.
Well, we were just talking about that this morning because Nevaeh attended a wedding where this happened. She was like, I don't like it.
She attended a wedding so now the guys are starting to take the garters off using their teeth, which I find so trashy because they're putting their head under the wedding dress. It's going up the leg. I mean, again, grandmas are there, parents are there. I would feel really icky watching some guy take a garter off one of my daughter's thighs using his teeth and then flinging it at his buddies.
Yeah, it's
to
weird.
like be like, woo!
It's a weird tradition.
And because the garter was something that sort of represented
robbing her innocence.
Yeah, like you're robbing her of her innocence. It's a piece of lingerie, and then you're taking it off with your teeth in front of everybody. So now there's
and
this
then
trend,
throwing it to your buddies.
Yeah,
which is really weird.
And now there's a trend of lap dancing. So the girl sits on a chair, and the guys are lap dancing around women, or not around women, but around their bride. And then they're taking the garter off, and they're turning a wedding, a union between you and God, this holy matrimony, into something dirty and inappropriate.
Sign of the times. You guys know that we've gotten very serious about healthy whole foods and staying away from processed foods with ingredients that we can't pronounce. And that goes for every member of the family, including our four-legged family member as well.
We've always believed that good nutrition for our dogs is not only about giving them more years, but also about giving them more life during those years. Now, Ludo is full of the zoomies right now, but we want to make sure that that is the case as he ages, and that means real whole foods from the beginning.
Yeah, Sundays for Dogs has been absolutely amazing because it provides Ludo with 100% meat and superfoods that are carefully selected to play an important role in his overall health, like beef, blueberries, and spinach. Sundays is slow cooked and then gently air dried to preserve natural vitamins and minerals without over processing.
Yeah, Sundays is also really convenient. You get the nutrition of a fresh diet without the hassle of having to cook, store, thaw, and prep. It is shelf stable and a simple scoop and go food, so you have way more time for play and snuggles.
It's also an amazing option if you love to travel, whether you take your dog with you or you have someone to watch them, because packing around fresh food can get really tricky, which is something that we've personally found to be very convenient.
To clean up your furry family member's diet in a simple and nutritious way and witness your dog's transformation, you're also going to get 50% off your first order. Go to sundaysfordogs.com/NWOS and make sure to use our code NWOS at checkout.
Sign of the times.
Yeah, like you're making a joke out of everything. I think a wedding's something very serious. It used to be a religious ceremony. And so like
even the whole bouquet thing, like I've never understood that either.
I feel like the bouquet is not
that's innocent
sexual.
enough. It's just a weird, like, why do we do these things?
I don't know. Why are we throwing flowers?
Where does this stem from?
I don't know where that stems from, but both of our older children said that they are not going to do the garter toss and that they find it inappropriate and just raunchy.
Our children.
I thought that was really interesting. Kaimani had a total ick about it. He had never even seen the garter stuff. And he was just like, well, people do that? He's like, that's disgusting.
The girl with the boobs out thing that you showed me this morning, I was like, what?
It was pretty unreal.
So imagine you're the father of the bride in that situation.
Oh my gosh. Oh, what's she doing? So anyway, okay, totally off topic. The kids showed me the garter thing and I just thought their take on that was really interesting.
Okay, let's spin this into whatever it is that you got there in your notes.
Okay, so speaking of females proposing, males taking on the female's last name, and all of these things, I feel like this is this attack on the patriarchy, which we've seen an attack on the patriarchy since the 60s. And I do feel like in certain situations, like if you watch Mad Men and you look back to the way that secretaries were treated by their boss, and the patriarchy went a little far into where women didn't have a voice, and if women did speak up in the workplace or something, they would lose.
The objectification of women.
Yes,
sure.
And you saw it in commercials. You saw it on Betty Boop cartoons. Lady of the Mountain and stuff. There were things like that where we needed to reel it in and curb it a little bit. However,
we overcorrected on that.
We overcorrected. Like we were like driving down the road. And we were like, dear.
Overcorrection.
That's my example of it. So now I think what happened is we have destroyed the nuclear family and we have destroyed a healthy patriarchy that supported the matriarchy. And in doing so, we have destroyed both. Like, and I'd like to, when I say a healthy matriarchy, I mean where women can choose to work, Women can be educated. Women can vote. Women have a voice. We are free to choose what we want, and women can choose to stay home and be respected in that very vital role of being wife and mother.
But that's under attack, and we're still embracing this overcorrection.
Yes, and we're still embracing this overcorrection. And also just having children, getting married, all of these things. And
it's okay to choose for yourself unless you choose that.
Unless you choose that. And so we started to see it being attacked. And I think that it's very intentional. So in the 60s is when we really saw it being attacked, because I think it's all Marxism. You know, economic Marxism wasn't very popular. It's not very palatable. When you start talking about economic Marxism, people are like, ooh, like, I don't know that I want to pay 90% taxes and be treated like a child.
Some people do.
Some people do. And more people are buying into that idea now because the American dream and the nuclear family have been so broken down over the decades that they now feel like these things are not achievable. Therefore, maybe socialism is the only answer. But it was all by design, and it started 80 years ago because cultural Marxism was far more palatable and far sneakier. It looked good and it sounded good on paper, but it really destroyed Western society, and we see it anywhere where you see Western society. We're seeing this breakdown. We're seeing it over in the UK. We're seeing it in Australia. We're seeing it in New Zealand. We're seeing it in Canada. And we're seeing it very heavily here in America.
Well, you had that stability, but they dislike that. And so it needs to be torn down.
Right, exactly. And I think they saw it as a threat to their agenda.
Yeah.
If you have a healthy family and you have a man who has a sense of protecting his family, he's going to be far harder to control.
Yes.
Because, you know, like they say every man needs something to love, something to do, and something to hope for. Those are the three, that's the tripod to a healthy man.
And to go back to it, I think in part, that's why so many people had an issue with what it is Brandon Marshall's doing to his son.
Right. Right. I think that's probably true. It's uncomfortable to see strong men.
Right. When you say you're trying to raise a warrior, people don't like that.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that wasn't my problem with the video, obviously,
I understand.
But it is a lot of people's problem with it. But yeah, if you can remove the something to love, a man will fight for his family and his own, for his wife and his children to the death. If you can remove that from his life, then you kind of remove a lot of what
you remove the obstacle getting in the way.
Yeah, and then you remove what it is he has to fight for. If he doesn't really have anything to fight for except for himself, he's never going to love himself in the way that he loves his family. You can control him.
Reminds me of Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they would go after the families.
Yeah.
They would remove the families. But now there's all these studies and statistics saying that teenagers today, not even half of them will get married in their lifetime, even though when asked, about 90% say that they have a plan to get married, but only half ever will.
It goes back to that video we played last week of that 30-year-old guy saying, I'm 30 years old, none of my friends are married, and none of them own homes, and none of them are having children.
You know, 51% of people that are age 30 today are childless.
Not surprising.
Yeah, it's nuts. And the people that are having children are not having children in stable families. So today, 51 to 53% of children are born out of wedlock without a mother and a father in the home. In 1940, it was 4%.
Tragic. And that's what they're in favor of.
Yeah. So 80 years ago, or 75, 80 years ago, 4% of children were born without a mother and father in the home. Today, it's 52%.
Crazy. Do you want to play this video from which one you want to play first? Because you sent me two.
Either is fine. So I kind of started diving into this whole, I heard that the nuclear family is dangerous. And so I watch a lot of Diary of a CEO, not because I love the host or anything like that. I'm kind of indifferent with him. He's just sort of an interviewer in my mind, but he has really interesting guests. And I saw a while ago, he had this woman on that was talking about how dangerous a nuclear family was. And I thought that was really an interesting topic. So I watched the podcast and I found a small clip from it. So
we're doing the clip from his show.
Yeah.
Guy. Okay.
We used to live in small communities where we actually had lots of different kinds of relationships with lots of different people, and also in extended kin networks in intergenerational housing, for instance. And so with the advent of the nuclear family and the dissolution of real community, we expect our partner to be all things, to be an entire village and an extended family. And that's just really not possible. I mean, the love marriage in particular may even be a paradox in terms, because you want kind of, let's say, an emotionally stable safe companion who is also your passionate lover and sexual partner. You certainly can't do both of those things at the same time. The best you can hope for is to kind of vacillate between the two of them to kind of create a proportion, just enough passion or spontaneity and risk to keep the kind of bedroom alive, but still maintaining the stability and long-term security of the relationship. It's very difficult.
Very difficult to manage. I'm going to go out on a limb there and say that this guy's single.
I think this guy is, I don't think he dates women. To me, in watching the podcast, it was definitely an attack on monogamy. So basically, he was saying if you can have a partner that is a supportive person in your life and is a more of a constant, but that person doesn't need to be where you go for all of your gratification. So it's kind of an attack on the traditional role of marriage and love in marriage and monogamy in marriage, because you can't possibly expect this one person to fulfill your needs. So therefore, you should be able to go out and get your needs met in different places, but you still have this partner that is your companion.
Let me see if I'm interpreting this correctly. So he's saying that a loving household, a stable household, is incapable of meeting the needs of everyone, whether it be the child, but also the person involved in this traditional marriage.
He was saying one person.
That care and stability while also gratifying you sexually.
I'm going to say the guy's kind of just a perv that wants an excuse to go out and be with whoever he wants.
Husband and father of 5 children now, I'm going to say that that's completely false. Just floating that out there. Because
that's good for me.
Finding the right, first of all, I didn't like the whole term a love marriage,
right?
As opposed to what exactly? I get that there are loveless marriages out there, or maybe even arranged marriages, but that is certainly the minority.
Well, it's an attack on
healthy minority.
But yeah, I mean, when this stuff like this is spewed on a large podcast like Diary of a CEO, and people watch it and they go, "Yeah, marriage can't work, monogamy can't work. Men were not created for monogamy." And you hear this on the right and the left. This is across the aisle.
What a convenient excuse. Also, the people that are saying that probably aren't married.
Yeah,
because
a lot of them aren't.
Better.
A lot of them aren't, or they came out of an unhappy marriage and they're divorced and they're angry, or they were cheated on, or they are cheaters and they say, well, I'm naturally a cheater because that's just the way it is. Nobody can be monogamous. And if you say that you're monogamous, you're lying.
It's just
everybody cheats.
It's such an odd outlook on the world. And I think that you and I can serve as an example to the fact that, you need to be on the same page for sure. And if you are like this deviant, yeah, maybe those needs aren't being met, but that's also not a recipe for a healthy household to be raising a child in, regardless of the situation. So yeah, what are we talking about exactly?
Well, it doesn't make you a strong person to go out and say, I can't be monogamous. It means that you have no self-control. It means that you probably indulge in
also your priorities are
pornography.
Out of whack. If your priorities are out of whack and you're not prioritizing the health and happiness of your child, and instead you're indulging in these self-indulgences, then yeah, things aren't going to go well for you.
Right. Well, so there was him, and then there was, so when I said she earlier, I was thinking of the other podcast because I watched two in the same day. I was trying to absorb a bunch of information.
We'll play that clip here in a second.
So yeah, the female is the one that was saying that the nuclear family with children is what's dangerous. He was attacking monogamy, and then I found her to be a little bit crazier than even this guy. So I don't know that this guy was even talking about with children and everything. I think he was just coming up with excuses why monogamy doesn't work and why marriage doesn't work, which of course breaks down society when you don't have people getting married, which we see today. People are not getting married. Young people are not getting married. They're not even dating.
Yeah, but he's also suggesting that it's just not possible when that it's just simply untrue.
Like it's an unrealistic expectation. Yeah. And that people should just be free, be single.
And then this entire thing when it comes to like raising children and the concept of community, not that there's anything wrong with community when it comes to raising a child, but you have people like this female we're about to play in a second who takes things a little far.
Right.
And saying that children need to be exposed to an environment outside of their own households, which again, I don't necessarily agree with, but she's taking it to an extreme.
Yeah. Well, you don't disagree, you mean.
I don't disagree, correct.
So yeah, I mean, I think this all started with Hillary Clinton and it takes a village. And now, oh gosh, people write that all the time. Takes a village, takes a village.
We get that all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen The Village. I don't love The Village. So I think that it takes a family. I think it takes a strong mother and a strong father and a good biblical foundation to raise a child.
And again, it gets back to you need to corrupt your child with what it is you've tried to instill at home.
Well, they want you to believe that it takes a village because they control the village. They want your child to be in the public education system because they have taken over the public education indoctrination system.
Indoctrination, yeah.
And
was it Obama that said, that's not your child? Was it him? I know he said, that's not your business, but wasn't it him that was like, that's not your child? That child basically belongs to the community?
Yeah, a lot. Well, I mean, that is the general consensus, is that children belong to the community in which they live in. They don't belong to the mother and the father. And you're seeing that with transitioning children without telling the parents. And there's a huge push for that. All kinds of medical treatments and things like that without telling parents. I mean, we see it through our different, Planned Parenthood and things like that. They're not telling parents, even though there's laws that they have to. But those laws are never going to be enforced because it's like, oh, we're protecting the children or their community, or saying that,
you have their best interest at heart.
Right. And that a father can't fulfill the needs of their son. They need multiple positive male role models in their life. Well, there's a lot of risk that goes with that. When you're saying, here, my son, go hang out with your coach. We have a very strong example of that with our own children's pediatrician, who was inviting little girls to his home because and moms were falling for it because he's like, he knew what to say. You're tired. He would find single mothers. First thing he asked me, is there a father in the home? Why does my pediatrician need to know if there's a father in the home?
Warrior.
He was trying to figure out if I was a single mom because I had cute daughters and he wanted them to come over to his sleepovers.
Warrior. Obstacle.
Yep.
Needs to be removed.
He didn't want a father in his way.
Get him out of the way, yeah.
And he knew if it was a single mom, he might be able to get her on a tired, frustrated day where she didn't feel like her son or daughter had a positive male role model. He's a pediatrician. He's a safe person. So, when they're saying that they need multiple examples, you need to really be careful with saying, oh, my child needs these multiple examples and these alternates. Therefore, I'm going to risk their safety and put another adult in charge of my child.
But in that case, he's prodding for vulnerabilities. He's looking for chinks in the armor.
I truly, truly feel like there should be a very small circle of, women too, but men, because men statistically tend to be the perpetrators, but women too. There can be women perpetrators also. But as a mother or father, we have a very small circle of safe men. So for me personally, safe men for any of our 5 children is you, my father, and your father.
That's about it.
And that's it. There is not another safe man that I would drive away and leave my child in their care.
Yeah. And that's sadly taken as being highly controversial for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Play clip number 2 because she takes it to
she takes
the
it
next
to an
level.
extreme.
You said nuclear family is unhealthy.
I think it's the most unhealthy thing ever.
I've had a lot of people, especially Christians, they say the nuclear family is like the backbone of America.
They say that because the nuclear family has its origins in land ownership. Religions basically were created to serve land ownership. So it's a history lesson that they need. Human beings are healthiest in tribes. We are a group species. That is where we have enough resources to meet our needs. A nuclear family does not meet your needs. So everybody in a nuclear family is under-resourced. That family has a very similar way of approaching things usually. Now, the children who grew up really healthy are the ones who have that capacity to go from one resource to the next resource, and they're kind of gauging who deals with this way the best. And so they're drawing from that wide pool of resources and developing their own model from what's successful out of who they're observing. The more we limit the scope of that group, the less resources and the less alternative examples they get to draw from.
I never tire of the arrogance and hubris of people who push agendas like these. The inadequacy of the nuclear family now is it's a bad thing. It's dangerous. The nuclear family itself is a bad thing. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
The foundations set within your home are inadequate, Melissa.
Yeah. So she basically said that families tend to deal with things in similar ways. Mothers and fathers, like if you have a healthy marriage, will back one another up, and when it comes to parenting and things like that. So that's a problem because whether they go to mom or dad, they're going to get a similar answer. And families tend to, most families are either Republican or they're liberal or they're this or that or whatever, vegan families. And so you need to be able to go out into society and see multiple examples.
Expose yourself.
And so really what it is that the nuclear family threatens their agenda because a strong nuclear family you can't dismantle the teachings of mom and dad.
It's about land ownership.
Apparently it's about land ownership. I don't even know what she's talking about. Well, what she means is when everybody lived on, I mean, she's talking about native tribes and stuff where they were nomad tribes and they traveled around and nobody had like, this is my land. But you know what? I bet they still had their little teepee or their wigwam, like, this is mine. Like, it's not like, oh no, anyone can come into mine. Like, that's not, everybody's always had some kind of ownership. And also, where are those societies now? Where are these completely communist or socialist societies now? And like, if you think there wasn't strife in these things, it wasn't Pocahontas, Disney Pocahontas. Like, there was strife in all communities. Human beings are flawed. And so they just hate this concept of like, this is my land. I'm going to do what I want. This is my family. I'm going to do with my family as I see fit. That threatens their socialist agenda. And so they have to dismantle it. They have to break it up. They have to take away private land ownership. They have to take away religion because, I mean, you have things like Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way in which he goes so that when he is old, he does not depart. It's so that when he goes out into the world and sees all these examples that are corrupt or are wrong or are sinful, that he doesn't depart from the foundations that he was taught by his mother and father.
We just got our monthly Delete Me report this morning, and it felt like the perfect time to remind you to check into your own digital map on the internet because all of your information could be floating around on hundreds of different websites, just like ours was.
So the truth is, if you are online at all, you're at risk, even if you use a VPN or a virus software, because neither actually prevents your personal data from floating around and being taken from government sites, public information sites, and even your own social media.
Yeah, thankfully, Delete Me proactively removes your name, your home address, phone numbers, and even your family members from companies who want to advertise to you, nosy people, and even scammers.
We have personally trusted Delete Me to help keep our personal information offline for almost 4 years now. But when we first signed up, Delete Me found hundreds of listings with our private data on sites that we didn't even know existed.
Thankfully, their privacy experts were able to have them removed on our behalf, saving us so much time and frustration. The cool thing about Delete Me is they're always continually scanning the web to make sure that our data doesn't pop up again.
Yeah, it literally could not be any easier to clean your private information off the internet with the help of Delete Me. Just click the link down below or go to joindeleteme.com/GSL and make sure you use our code GSL to save 20% off all consumer plans. I learned something recently that made me rethink a lot about what women experience on a daily basis. Have you ever caught yourself wondering, why am I so tired all the time? And not just tired, but brain fog and less patience than you used to have, not feeling quite like yourself. We blame it on stress, getting older, raising kids, or simply just having too much on our plates. In fact, some women will spend years trying to solve the wrong problem, changing diets, buying supplements, pushing through exhaustion without realizing that hormones could be a part of the picture. The goal isn't to change who you are, it's to help you restore what your body naturally needs. And because hormones affect pretty much everything like your energy, your mood, your sleep, and most importantly, your heart, brain, and bone health, it's worth understanding whether or not they are playing a role in how you're feeling. So that's really what I appreciate about Kiora. You don't need to know if hormone therapy is right for you. You just need to start that conversation with somebody with shared values who understands what you're experiencing. If you want to start the conversation and see if Kiora can help you, visit Kiora.com/NWOS to learn more and use our code NWOS to save $50 off bioidentical hormone replacement therapy.
It's just evil. It's an evil agenda. And these people, again, are trying to break down the barriers of control and the things that are getting in the way of them snatching and gaining control of your children and molding them the way that they deem to be fit.
Early childhood education.
Yeah.
I mean, we see this. So like in the 60s, most families had, like most kids had a mom and dad. I actually wrote it down. So in 1960, 73% of children lived in a home with a mom and a dad in their first marriage. 73%. So now in the 60s, that went down, in the 80s, it went down to 61%. Today, 46%, less than half of children live in a home with their mom and dad.
So all that being taken into consideration, what is your take on this whole concept of community when it comes to raising a child for those households that maybe are incomplete because a parent is missing?
Yeah, I mean, I still think that if you have a fierce single mom or a dad, like you were raised by a single dad who was committed to raising their child right, maybe you don't have that balance, that mother-father balance. Obviously, that's optimal, but I don't think that that means that you're going to fail. Statistically,
I think
single
that means that
moms,
a parent has to step up.
Yes, you have to step up because statistically single moms, they have a 3-time higher rate of living in poverty because they have to work, or if they're raising small children, they can't work as much. And so it makes you more prone to poverty. Children raised without fathers are far more likely to end up in prison or to commit violent crimes because they don't have that harsher model role model saying no, like you're not going to do. They don't have that man to tell them to man up.
So again, taking all of those statistics into consideration, do you think that, because we're not trying to poo-poo on the concept of community across the board,
right?
I would say,
well,
right? I mean, if there's a situation
yes.
where a kid is living in a broken home, there is value to come along with exposing them to others.
However, be very careful.
Yeah, you should be weary, right?
Yeah.
And you get to make that
Don't
ultimate determination.
Feel that pressure as a single mom. Like you're probably doing just fine. And don't feel that pressure that they need these positive male role models, that you endanger your child by putting them into situations where it's like a coach is taking them for the day.
Right.
I don't think that you should ever resort to something like that because it's too risky.
And so a big part of the reason we want to bring this up here on this episode is because we receive a lot of backlash from those who would endorse or advocate for this agenda, and the fact that we have homeschooled our kids. We are talking about building out yet another living space so that our kids have the option of remaining here. And I think a lot of people view us as being like hyper controlling in the fact that we want to keep our kids here and not expose them to anything that is out there in the world,
right.
Alternative viewpoints, alternative lifestyles. What do you say when it comes to that?
Well, I mean, I think our children, with the internet today, everybody's exposed to stuff, whether you like it or not. Things that are, kids are exposed to all kinds of things. Now, also, you can expose your children through travel, as soon as Nevaeh turned 18, she started independent traveling. She started traveling for her work and all of that. So she was exposed to all kinds of different things. And we never tell our children not to go do things. We tell them to go do things and that this is a great landing pad for you. So go out, take risks, because you do have this soft place to fall. Go try to build a business, go travel, go do whatever. Like we were telling Nevaeh, like there was a job opportunity for her that was in a different state. And we're like, yeah, maybe you should go take it. It's 2 years. That might be a really fun adventure for you. She ultimately chose that it wasn't a good fit for her. And so she didn't take it. But we've never told our kids, stay here, be coddled, be safe. It's just here if they need to land here. And hopefully that helps them to take bigger risks.
Yeah, I get the perception, and we're not always able to explain our viewpoint when it comes to these issues when it's brought to our attention, like down in the comment section. You guys can feel free to chime in here on this episode as well. Please have at it. But it's never been about control for us. It's about trying to provide opportunities for our children. Kind of like Melissa said, like, hey, take on a risk. Know that you have this fallback plan. You have a place to return home to. And as far as the foundations that were set for them in life, I have zero reluctance about the way that we've gone about doing things, and we've tried to instill in them really solid values, in my view, with a faith-based foundation. And yeah, they've gotten minimal exposure. That hasn't always gone well, especially in Nevaeh's case, to outsiders. But the world is a crazy place, and I think that ultimately you and I have, we want what's best for our kids. We're not trying to inhibit their ability to go and do whatever it is they want. Quite the contrary. And like Melissa said, like we try to encourage them to take risks, take chances, and explore different options that are presented to them, regardless of how far that may lead them away from us. It's kind of a bummer as a parent to see your kids go, but we want them to have that opportunity and know that they have a safety net there if they need it.
Yeah, I have no problem with community, but I think the family should be part of the community. I have a problem with the community raising children. So when you're talking about, it started with early childhood. Well, first started with kindergarten, then early childhood education, preschool, and now daycare. Daycare is so normalized. Back in the day, it used to be like, ooh, if you have to send your kids to daycare, it's because mom has to work. And you would kind of explain why you had to send your kids to daycare. And it was definitely not ideal. And now daycare is so normal. And people are like, they're making reels on Instagram, sending my daughter to daycare, even though I'm a stay-at-home mom. And they're like, girl, and they're getting their latte and they're bragging about having somebody else raise their children. Daycare is not optimal. If you have to work and you have to use daycare, that's what it's for. It's for if you have to.
Daycare should be a last resort.
Yes, daycare
not something you
is
embrace
not
because you think it's a good thing.
A good thing. It's not a positive thing. It's not the healthiest thing. And
our opinion.
Statistically, studies have shown that daycare does cause trauma. It is not a place where a child is feeling loved or secured or held. It is not optimal.
But it all goes
sometimes
hand in
it's
hand.
necessary, but it's not optimal.
It all goes hand in hand. And I guess the big issue I have with it is that it's done under the guise of like, oh no, it's a good thing. Look, you're exposing your kid. I think
You're
there
socializing
are ulterior motives behind it. And
For sure.
the primary objective is to separate a child from their family.
Right. Yeah, and I don't really see
Call
the
me
point of
crazy.
socializing small children with other small children because ultimately we're raising our babies and our children to become adults. They're going to spend most of their life being adults. And I worked in a daycare for 3 years. That's what I did when I was in university. And I can promise you that nothing good really happens there. They're not learning anything. It's basically just group play, but there's a lot of fighting that goes on. They learn a lot of bad habits. They learn to hold on to their toy or somebody's going to steal it from them. So
Yeah, it's all based on conformity, just
Yes.
like our public school system is. It's like don't embrace the individual for the individual gifts that they've been granted. It's chip away at that and force them to conform and be just like everybody else.
it's crowd control. It's just not optimal. I always kind of felt sorry for the kids there. I'm like, oh, so. Yeah, keep your babies home as long as you can. And then if mom can't do it, then dad's the next best option. And if dad can't do it, then grandma is the next best option. And if grandma can't do it, then even a nanny within your home is the next best.
Next best option.
That is a hard thing.
Words are hard.
Say it 3 times fast. Next best option. But yeah, the people that have this agenda that see the nuclear family as a negative thing, they want to separate as early as possible. They want to start the integration into society as soon as possible. They want teachers to spend more time than parents do with their children, and coaches and social workers. And you're just inviting all of these different influences into your family, and you're no longer raising your child. But they truly believe the children do not belong to the mom and dad.
Sadly, that's a controversial take. I'm sure some of you out there will disagree with us. Feel free to chime in down in the comments section. And then, we'll see whether or not we're back in here.
Yeah.
We're taking next week off because it's the 4th of July.
Yeah, we're going to take the week for the 4th of July
Some
to
family
just
coming into town.
celebrate America's 250th birthday. Woo-hoo. And then we will be back. And I don't know if we will be back in the studio with Daryl or if we will be transitioned into the house at that point. So stay tuned. Things are about to look different.
All right. So appreciate you guys being here. Have a great week. We'll see you here in a couple weeks then. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Couple weeks. Happy birthday, America. You guys take care. God bless.
Living